Hey everybody, we're back with our friend Anderson Cooper. You have seen a lot of catastrophes and a lot of tragedies around the world, covering it for the news. How do you compare? In what ways is this similar or different
Yeah,
than the different catastrophes you've seen happen around the world?
yeah. I mean, I'm always hesitant to sort of compare, human suffering because for people who are going through this is the worst thing.
Well, there's scale and
Yeah,
there's reaction
right,
and the
yeah,
action you can take to mitigate, and some
right.
things you
Yeah, I mean,
can't. It is
certainly
merely enduring it.
the scale of this is just beyond anything any of us have ever seen before. I mean, this is to have something that has affected the entire globe and had the effects, not only the human effects of loss, but the societal effects, the economic effects, the devastation of all of that. I mean, it's just unprecedented, obviously. And I think part of to me, there's been a kind of disconnect because, especially early on, there weren't cameras in hospital rooms, or family members couldn't see their loved ones at the end, and cameras weren't in the emergency room. So you didn't really, you knew of this battle that was happening behind the walls of the hospital, but you didn't actually really see it, unlike in a Hurricane Katrina or the earthquake in Haiti, where, it was all around, and there, because of cameras, everybody felt like that they were there and they were witnessing it. And so I think and I think that continues to be part of, you don't see the loss. We tried to bring the names of people and introduce everybody to people whose lives have been taken. But I think that's one of the difficulties in this, of sort of seeing it up close. We don't really see it. We're not on the front line in that sense. And that's, I think, I think that's one of the hard things about trying to report on this.
What are some of the more challenging aspects of reporting on this?
Look, I mean, just it's one thing to, first of all, this is not some story. I mean, this is life and death. This is as serious as it gets, and it's more important than ever before that things be true and accurate, and it's why I'm not, one of the reasons I'm not taking time off. Thankfully, I can do some work from home and stuff, but I feel like this is an extraordinary time to be in this business as a reporter, and to be able to try to help inform people and give people facts. Right now, facts and science and truth, it is the difference between life and death for many people.
Well, where are you getting those? Because a lot of people, many news organizations have curtailed their following of the president's press briefings when he used to do them, because they felt that they weren't getting the straight dope from the president. That it was more political than informative. So where is your information coming from now, primarily?
Look, I mean, I think we do reporting, and there's a lot of good people doing a lot of good reporting, and I think that's one of the problems with the way this has been handled, is suddenly everything became funneled through the White House, the vice president's office, and what you had, these coronavirus task force briefings that started off, yes, with Vice President Pence, constantly saying everything, starting the sentence with, at the direction of the president. He knew better than to, make himself everything was done at the direction of the president so that he could stay in the president's good graces. But you at least heard from the scientists, and that suddenly the president realized, well, I should get in on these. These are popular, and these scientists are getting, their numbers are going up. People are respecting them. So he wants to get in on it. And so he has hijacked these coronavirus task force briefings, and they have become something, you watch them, or at least I watch them as a citizen, waiting for the scientists to come on to actually say something. And it's largely the president using it as a, mini campaign rally, as a, I don't know what he actually considers it, and saying things which are demonstrably false, and, rewriting of history about his administration's response, and at the same time giving out bogus medical information that is, with the idea of doing studies, injecting people with disinfectants is, I mean, you couldn't make that up, that a president of the United States would actually suggest that, and just think of it and muse out loud about it, and have a government official, sort of nod his head and say, well, we'll try to find the right people for that, or the people who can figure that out. Yeah, but Yeah. I mean, you see the president talking about liberate Michigan. How about liberating the scientists, letting the CDC hold a press conference of their own every day, or the National Institutes of Health, just like liberate the scientists to just speak truth and speaks like science will save us.
Anderson, what do you say to the rumors that you in your past injected bleach and that's why you're monochromatic?
That is not true. But
no?
Yes, no.
Well, only time will tell. Can I see the patch on? Can I see the haircut you gave yourself? Has it gotten better?
It healed over. Yeah, it was.
Yes?
That was kind of.
It did. Okay.
I'll just briefly tell you a story. I got my second DM. This is how it happened twice. From a lady who said, "Hey, there's a DM on Instagram." She was like, "Hey, I'm reaching out to you because my daughter has albinism, and I went online to find some other people who also have albinism, she could kind of, maybe get some inspiration from. So that's why I'm reaching out to you." And I didn't know how to respond because and literally, I promise you, this is the second time this happened. She was like, I was like, I mean, I'm not an albino. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that. And people who have albinism are treated terribly in many societies. And so I have great, compassion for the condition. But, I'm just like a middle-aged white guy. There's a really pale and translucent and white walker, as you pointed out. But so I didn't know how to respond to her because I didn't want to say, well, I'm not an albino, because I didn't want to make it seem like there's anything wrong with that. But at the same time, I didn't want to claim membership in the albino community because then I would be Me Too'd in an albino Me Too movement whenever that happens a few years from now. So I didn't respond. I felt terrible.
Well, now she'll know. Now she'll know.
I apologize for the two of you out there. I'm sorry.
Yes. Anderson, we have to take one more break. But folks, please don't go anywhere because we'll be right back with more Mr. Anderson Cooper.